Students, welcome to the online classes of chemistry. So, today we will discuss the depression in freezing point. So, here the next that is depression of freezing point. So, what is the depression of freezing point? Before this, let us see what is freezing point. So, what is the freezing point? So, here the freezing point is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to that of its solid is called as freezing point. So, freezing point of a liquid is the freezing point of the liquid is the temperature at which its vapor pressure becomes equal to that of its solid. Look here, students. Freezing point of a liquid is the temperature. It is the temperature at which its vapor pressure becomes equal to that of its solid, or the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to the solid. So, here its vapor pressure becomes equal to that of its solid, or the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to that of its solid. It is called as a freezing point. So, then here what is the depression of freezing point? Look here, students. Here I will give the difference. Look here. When a pure solvent, water is taken in a beaker. So, when it is cooled, gradually it freezes. So, therefore, here let its freezing point will be T0 F. And when again that is to same that is solvent. So, solvent is taken, plus to this a non-volatile solute is added, then it becomes a solution. To this, that is when a non-volatile solute is added, so then the vapor pressure of the solution decreases. And hence the freezing point of the solution is less than or lower than that of the pure solvent. This is called as depression in freezing point. So, look here, students. When a non-volatile solute is added to the solvent, the vapor pressure of the solution decreases, and hence its freezing point is lower than, or hence the freezing point of the solution decreases. So, here the freezing point of the solution decreases, or the freezing point of the solution is less than decreases and is less than that of solvent. So, look here, students. When a non-volatile solute is added to the solvent, so the vapor pressure of the solution decreases, and hence the freezing point of the solution decreases and is less than that of a solvent. It is less than that of a solvent. Now, Here, look here. Look here. Here, let the freezing point of pure solvent is T naught F. Let the freezing point of pure solvent is T naught F, and the freezing point of solution in which non-volatile solute is dissolved, freezing point of solution is TF. Look here, the freezing point, so that is the freezing point of pure solvent is T naught F and the freezing point of solution is TF. So therefore, here T naught F is greater than TF. T naught F is greater than TF because here the freezing point of solution is less than that of pure solvent, or it may be also written as T naught F minus TF, or it may be also written as delta TF is equal to, so T naught F minus T. T naught F minus T. So this is called as depression in freezing point. What is the depression in freezing point? Define depression in freezing point. The depression in freezing point, students, it is for 2 marks question. The depression in freezing point, a depression of freezing point is the difference between the freezing point of solution and solvent. So students, it is for 2 marks question. Define depression in freezing point. So define depression in freezing point. So here it is for 2 marks question. So the difference in the freezing point of solution and solvent is called as depression in freezing point. Look here students, here the depression of freezing point for dilute solution is directly proportional to its molality. For a dilute solution, it is directly proportional to its molality. So you have to write this symbolic representation and you have to write this definition for 2 marks. And now let us see the depression in freezing point. The depression of freezing point for a dilute solution. The depression of freezing point for a dilute solution is directly proportional to the molality, directly proportional to the molality. M, molality M of the solution, and is given as molality of the solution and is given as, look here students, delta TF is proportional to M, equation number 1, and then delta TF is equal to KF into M, it is equation number 2. So here M is molality and what is KF? So here KF is the freezing point. KF is the freezing point depression constant. Freezing point depression constant, or it is also called as molal depression constant, or it is also called as cryoscopic constant. Look here students, it is called as a cryoscopic constant and its unit is kg per mole or K per molal, kg per mole or K per molal. Then students here, when the molality is equal to 1 or molality is equal to unity, then what happens here? When M is equal to 1, then equation, when molality is equal to 1, then equation 2 becomes delta TF is equal to KF. Delta TF is equal to KF. Then what is delta TF? Delta TF is the depression in freezing point. And what is KF? KF is the molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant. So then here when M is equal to 1, both are equal, then how it is defined? The molar depression constant is defined as the depression in freezing point is produced when 1 mole of a solute is dissolved in 1 kg of the solvent. So it is for 2 mark students. So here it is defined as when this molar depression constant is defined as the depression in freezing point caused or produced by dissolving 1 mole of a non-volatile solute in 1 kg of the solvent. So it is called as molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant or freezing point depression constant. So then how it is related with molecular mass? So calculation of molecular mass. Look here students. Calculation of molecular mass by using this depression of freezing point equation. So look here if W2 gram of non-volatile solute of molecular mass M2 is dissolved in W1 gram of solvent, then it is given as. So how it is given? Then the molality M is equal to W1 into M1 and that is M2 into W1. Look here students, it is here, sorry, W2 is equal to W2 into M1 and M2 into W1. So then W2 means mass of solute, and then that is here, that is the molar mass of solute, and it is here M1, that is molar mass of solvent, and it is mass of solvent. So it is W2 into that is M1 divided by M2 into W1. So for molality, we are changing this into that is 1000. While calculating molality, it is changed into 1000. So therefore, here is substituting this equation, substituting this value, in equation, look here, in equation 2, then delta TF is equal to KF into W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. Look here, students. Then we want molecular mass. Then M2 is equal to taking this side. So Kf into W2 into 1000 divided by delta TF into W1. So by this we can calculate the molecular mass. So it is molar depression constant, mass of solute, and then it is the depression in freezing point, and it is mass of solvent. So here it is about depression in freezing point, and then how it is related to this molality. Means it is related to molality, means it is a colligative property. It depends only on the number of solute particles, but not on the nature. So students, here by this we can calculate the molar mass of the solute. So it is about a depression in freezing point. And here the depression in freezing point and even the elevation in boiling point can also be represented by graphical method. I will show how both are represented. Look here. First one, elevation of boiling point. Look here, students. When a graph is plotted, vapor pressure against temperature. When a graph is plotted, vapor pressure against temperature. So here it is, the boiling point of solvent is less as compared to that of boiling point of solution. It is, first one is red line is solvent and it is solution. Means it can also be represented like this, that is T naught B, it is T naught, so it is TB. It is TB, and here in a bracket you may write delta TB. It is the difference between these two. Then here, if you plot this graph, it is represented like this. So here it is solvent and here it is a solution. And here for same this depression in second one. Depression in freezing point. Look here. Here also when a graph is plotted, vapor pressure against temperature. So look here. Again you will get it is red one is solvent, and again this green one is it is solution. Look here. Here solution is having more, that is boiling point, than that of solvent, but here in freezing point solution freezes, that is as less temperature as compared to that of solvent. So again here like this. So here it is solvent, it is T naught F, it is TF, it is delta TF. It is the graphical representation. And here it is the frozen solvent. So this is the graphical representation, students. Look here. It is about the three colligative property I have completed. That is, the first one is relative lowering of vapor pressure, and second one is elevation of boiling point, and third one is depression of freezing point. And the last one is a very interesting one, that is called as osmotic pressure of a solution. I think you learned in biology also. Then what is osmotic pressure of a solution? So first let us see one by one, that is osmosis, osmotic pressure, and then reverse osmosis. Then first one, that is the fourth one, osmotic pressure of a solution. So then first one, that is, what is osmosis? Osmo, to rise, cis, phenomena or process. So students, here I will draw a diagram. It is a thistle funnel. It is a thistle funnel kept inverted. So it is pure water, or it may be also called as a solvent. And here it is filled with strong solution of glucose or strong solution of sugar. Here strong solution of sugar is taken, and then here it is marked up to this level. It is a thistle funnel. It is a beaker. Thistle funnel. Look here, students, what happens here? So, very simple experiment. It is the initial level. It is the initial level. Look here, a strong solution of sugar is taken in a thistle funnel, and its mouth is covered with semi-permeable membrane. Its mouth is covered with semi-permeable membrane. Look here, students, its mouth is covered with semi-permeable membrane. The function of semi-permeable membrane, it only allows the solvent molecule, but it does not allow the solute and solution. So its mouth is covered with semi-permeable membrane, and this thistle funnel is kept immersed in water in a beaker. Water is a pure solvent here. And after a few minutes, it is observed that the solvent molecules slowly, that is, move through the semi-permeable membrane into the stem of this thistle funnel. So gradually the level of this, that is solution, sugar solution, goes on, increases, and after reaching equilibrium it stops. So it becomes a final level. So it is a final level. So, and this process is called as osmosis. This process is called as osmosis. Listen carefully once again. A strong solution of sugar is taken in a thistle funnel. Its mouth is covered with semi-permeable membrane or animal membrane or pig's bladder or cellophane paper or parchment paper. And then it is kept immersed in a beaker containing water. This water acts as a solvent and its initial level is marked. And after some time, it is observed that the solvent molecules slowly moves through the semi-permeable membrane into the sugar solution, and the level of sugar solution in the thistle funnel, stem of the thistle funnel goes on increases, and it reaches a final level when it reaches its equilibrium. So this is called as osmosis, rising osmosis. Then what is the definition here, students? So the spontaneous movement of solvent molecules. So the spontaneous movement of solvent molecules, only solvent molecules, or the solvent molecules from lower concentration to the higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called as osmosis. Look here, the spontaneous movement of solvent molecules from the solution of lower concentration to the solution of higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called as osmosis. So it is for 2 mark students. What is osmosis, or define osmosis? So the spontaneous movement of solvent molecules, the spontaneous movement of solvent molecules from the solution of lower concentration, from the solution of lower concentration to the solution of higher concentration through semi-permeable membrane, through semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Remember student, the spontaneous movement of solvent molecules from the solution of higher concentration to the solution of lower concentration to the solution of higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called as osmosis. So here in osmosis we are using semi-permeable membrane, and there are 2 types of semi-permeable membrane. There are 2 types of permeable membrane, semi-permeable membrane. One is natural semi-permeable membrane and another one synthetic or artificial. So what are natural semi-permeable membrane? Example, pig's bladder, animal membrane, vegetable membrane, and then you may also write this cellophane paper. And then second one, synthetic membranes or artificial. Artificial membrane, that is This you may also prepare this artificial membrane in the laboratory also. So artificial membrane, you may write cellophane paper. It acts as a artificial. So the artificial membrane also used in the purification of water also. So here it is about a semipermeable membrane. Then what is the function of semipermeable membrane? The semi-permeable membrane only allows or permits the solvent molecules but not the solution and solute. So this is about this here about this osmosis and semi-permeable membrane and types of semi-permeable membrane. So now here this is the type of osmosis which we can do in the laboratories, but there are natural osmosis processes are there. So what are those naturally occurring osmosis? So students, you are very well know that the raw mangoes shrivels into pickles. The raw mango. So it is these shrivels. So when pickled in brine solution, when the raw mangoes are put in the brine solution or sodium chloride solution, they shrivel. Badu antirala, shrivel. And another one that is, it is also osmosis, because the water which is present in the mango, it goes into the solution, sodium chloride solution, and it shrivel. And similarly, the second one, the wilted flowers, wilted flowers revive when it is placed in cold place or when it is placed in fresh water. It is also due to osmosis. And the blood cells collapse when these are suspended in saline water. So many natural examples are there. So these are all takes place by osmosis. And now let us see the next one. Osmotic pressure. What is osmotic pressure? So here in osmotic pressure, so look here. It is semi-permeable membrane, and then here the solvent is taken. It is solvent, and here the solution is kept in another container. Solution, it is semi-permeable membrane and it is a solvent. Look here students, when the solvent is kept in this container and is separated by semi-permeable membrane and in another container solution is placed, so therefore due to osmosis the solvent molecules will slowly move through the semi-permeable membrane into the solution. So here the solvent molecules will move through the semi-permeable membrane into the solution. Then what is osmotic pressure? So how osmotic pressure will happens? Look here, when that is the osmotic pressure, here an external pressure is applied. An external pressure is applied. So the osmosis is represented by pi and external pressure is applied. So when the external pressure is applied on the solution side, so therefore the movement of solvent molecules can be prevented. And this external pressure is called as osmotic pressure. So it is called as osmotic pressure, the prevention of movement of solvent molecules into the solution through a temporal membrane is prevented or stopped by applying an external pressure on the solution side is called as osmotic pressure, or it may be also defined like this: the flow of solvent molecules from the solution of lower concentration to higher concentration, from the solution of lower concentration to the solution of higher concentration can be prevented, solution of higher concentration through semiplural membrane, through semi-permeable membrane, so can be prevented or can be stopped, or can be stopped by applying sufficient pressure. By applying sufficient or an external pressure on the solution side, or on the solution of higher concentration is called osmotic pressure. So here, students, it is about osmotic pressure. So here, this osmotic pressure of a solution is a colligative property. So look here, the flow of solvent molecules from a solution of lower concentration to the solution of higher concentration through a semiplural membrane can be prevented or can be stopped by applying an external pressure or an extra sufficient pressure on the solution side. So therefore, it is completely stopped, and this pressure is called as osmotic pressure. So this pressure is greater than that of osmosis, which naturally takes place. So then this osmotic pressure is a colligative property. So this osmotic pressure is mainly depends on its molality. So let us see how it is related to molality. Look here, students. And osmotic pressure, it is also for 2 marks question, or sometime they may ask for 3 marks also. Look here. So I will show here. Osmotic pressure is a colligative property. Osmotic pressure is a colligative property as it depends on molar concentration, or as it depends on the number of solute particles. As it depends on number of solute particles in the solution and on the molarity of the solution. So therefore, here for a dilute solution, the osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the molality, that is the concentration term. Molality, direct osmotic pressure is proportional to the molality it is represented by C. Look here students, it is directly osmotic pressure. For dilute solution, the osmotic pressure of a solution is directly proportional to the molality C. Molality C of the solution. Molality C of the solution at a given temperature T. Then how it is expressed? So look here, it is expressed as pi is proportional to Ct. Equation number 1, C molality, it is expressed in terms of concentration. So molality, and therefore pi is equal to Ctr. Equation number 2, where R is a proportionality constant or it is a gas constant. And then here, look here, we know that C is equal to, so here N2 upon V Tr, it is equation number 3. So where that is, where C is equal to, where C is equal to N2 upon V. So what is N2 upon V? N2 upon V, so number of moles of solute divided by volume gives concentration. Number of moles of solute upon volume gives concentration. C is equal to N2 by V. So therefore, it is also written as pi V is equal to N2 RT. Pi V is equal to N2 RT. So students, here, what is N2? N2 is nothing but number of moles of solute. Then what is the number of moles of solute? Number of moles of solute is nothing but mass of the solute divided by molecular mass of the solute. So therefore, here I will write, look here students, here I will write pi V is equal to N2, N2 is equal to, we know that, so that is N2 is equal to number of moles of solute is equal to W2 upon M2. Number of moles is equal to mass of solute divided by molecular mass or molar mass. So therefore, it is pi V is equal to W2 RT divided by M2. Look here students, it is W2 RT upon M2, or you may also write that is pi is equal to W2 RT M2 V. So if osmotic pressure in problem, if they ask osmotic pressure, calculate the osmotic pressure, then pi is equal to W2 mass of the solute into R value they have given, T and M2, that is molar mass of the solute, and V is the volume. And if you want molecular mass, then or M2 is equal to molar mass of the solute, M2 is equal to W2 RT divided by pi V. So here two equations are there, W2 RT upon pi V. So therefore, here it is about how it is related to the molality, how it is a qualitative property. So students, here it is osmotic pressure. So here the osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the molality, and it is given by this equation. So then in our next class, we will discuss about the reverse osmosis and few terms in osmosis, that is isotonic solution, hypertonic solution, etc. So thank you.